Hi, this is Ken Okel. Let's talk about ways that you can accept negative feedback. Feedback is part of the job. How you process it is very important. Obviously, there's positive feedback as well, but usually when we get positive feedback, we accept it without question. I want to focus on those instances where you're getting some feedback that might be a little bit critical. So what do you do about it? I want to let you know at the end of this presentation, you will have an opportunity to download a little guide that I put together that highlights some of the key points that we're discussing. It can be a good way to refresh your memory down the road. Let me set up a scenario that illustrates how sometimes we give too much weight to a little bit of feedback. Let's say that you buy a green shirt. Usually you don't wear a green shirt, you add one to your wardrobe. You wear it to work. People notice the green shirt and they're saying things like, hey, you look nice in that green shirt, looking good. You're feeling good about the green shirt. But then one person kind of jokingly says, oh, I thought you were a leprechaun. And you're like, oh, the green shirt. Should I still be wearing my green shirt? Is my green shirt hurting me? Maybe I should never wear the green shirt again. One opinion that someone said to you suddenly holds a whole lot of weight. All these people said they liked the green shirt, but one person said something that was a little different, and all of a sudden you became fixated on that. Think about that when you receive feedback, because sometimes the feedback that you're getting is like that leprechaun remark. It's not really that important. Don't blow it out of proportion. I think it's also important with feedback to really consider the source. Who is giving you the feedback? Because anyone can have an opinion in today's world. A lot of them are going to be right, but not all of them may fit you. For instance, if you are a pilot, would you want to receive feedback from someone who flies a jumbo jet or from someone who makes paper airplanes? The paper airplane person might have some brilliant insight, but more likely you would want to give more weight to the observations from the person who flies the jumbo jets. Make sure with feedback that you do consider the source, because not all opinions are equal. Sometimes the negative feedback is good, even though it may be making you feel a little nervous, a little uncomfortable. So think about, does it have merit? Here's a situation where I think negative feedback can work very well. It's the relationship between a coach and an athlete. There is almost kind of an implied promise that the coach wants to make the athlete better. The feedback may be negative, but it's to the agreed goal of raising the athlete's performance. Think about in your situation, is there some sort of similar agreement where someone is giving you feedback, it's a little negative, but it's designed to make you better rather than just being totally critical? Keep that in mind. I think it's also important to make sure you're hearing the feedback correctly, because sometimes someone will say something, maybe they're a little socially awkward, so it comes out unusual. You're not really sure what to do with it. You may not even know if it's good feedback or bad feedback. In this type of situation, I think it's fine to ask, hey, could you tell me a little bit more about how you see it like that? Or just tell me more. Try to do so in a cheerful fashion. That way it doesn't seem like you're having an argument, but more like you're interested in the person. So be like, interesting observation. Could you tell me a little more about how you see it that way? I'm trying to understand what you're saying. That way it's not confrontational. You're trying to see, is there a nugget of gold there, or is this just maybe a ordinary pebble? There's a power question that I want you to consider when it comes to accepting negative feedback. And the question's right there. Why does it matter to me? Because sometimes you'll get some feedback and it's kind of stuck in your mind. It's bugging you. You're losing sleep over it. Really consider, why are you letting this matter to you? We can get upset if out of 100 people, 99 say we're great and one says you're okay. We focus on the one who said, you're okay. Why are you giving that one so much more attention? Why does it matter to you? Sometimes you're going to do the right stuff, but not everyone will be happy with it, or you got the right results, but someone may not have liked the path that you took there. Consider, why are you letting it matter to you? Because if you're just carrying around it as frustration when overall everything else was fine, well, that could be a problem. I have found that sometimes that feedback, that negative loop gets going in my mind. And when I ask this question, suddenly I realize, you know what? I'm not going to pay attention to that anymore. I'm going to move on. I feel good about the things that I did. Here's that little guide that I mentioned before. I'm going to put the download link in the chat section right now. If you're catching me later on YouTube or on my website, hello, glad to see you there. You can download that as well. I'll put the link in at the proper time. For more about me, hey, my name's Ken Okel. I'm a professional speaker. I work with people and organizations to help them perform better under pressure. I pull from my background in broadcast news, hurricane relief, and professional valet. Want to connect with me? Well, a good place to start is my website, kenokel.com, just like my name. Send me an email at tvguy@kenokel.com. Funny story, when I worked in TV news, often you'd be out and about in the community. People would recognize you, but they wouldn't know your name. So they would just yell things out like, hey, TV guy. I also welcome you to connect with me on LinkedIn. There, I do ask when you send me a connection request right where we first encountered one another, like in this session. That way I'm able to know that you're not some sneaky person who's trying to sell me stuff that I may not need. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation all about dealing with negative feedback. It's a part of our world, but I want to make sure it doesn't dominate your work life. I'm Ken Okel. Take care.